Kevin. This one's on you.
All right, so here at the 9 o'clock position on Metalopolis, we have TSL Alive. Now, formerly a faux U, so if we scan over him, if you see that it says there, you know what it is. But this guy, I don't think gets enough credit. He made Code S back in July, dropped down to the up and down matches, survived, made it into the August season, and only won 1 game out of his group. So he's guaranteed Code S for October, but I don't think he gets enough name recognition because he's a super solid Terran player.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've seen MKP drop down to the up and downs. We've seen MC this season drop down to the up and downs.
Yep.
Which I didn't catch. I'm actually pretty excited to see what happened in that whole thing.
Yeah. I don't know the result either. I'll have to go look at it.
I
know a few of them, but I didn't watch all of the games. So.
But just phenomenal players.
And who is his opponent? But the winner of the GSL Super Tournament, $100,000 prize that came with that. The best man on Prime at the moment, Optimus Prime. Wow.
Mr. One Base himself.
Really, though. This guy do some sweet 1-1-1.
I mean, he well, see, the thing is he can kind of sort of play that style that we saw from Ryung last game.
Sure.
But not, I mean, Ryung, that was just a masterpiece. Polt can play games like that, but it's just not the same.
Okay, guys, we were doing calculations during the break, and Ryung was comfortable enough in his macro on 6 bases that he decided to invest 600 minerals, 575 gas, just to get out 1 Raven with Hunter Seeker Missile.
I had to do
reactor.
it. During the break, I had to do it. I just started jotting down. You got your 150-100 for the starport, 50-25. Then you've got the additional 150-150 for Hunter Seeker, 150-150 for Corvid Reactor, 100-200 for a single Raven. That's assuming 1 Raven. Add another Raven, that's another 100-200.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all the time invested for all those upgrades. Hunter Seeker Missile has got to be the worst ability in all of StarCraft.
Getting a speed buff in the next patch, though, so we'll see if that actually makes a difference. So
I mean,
it's going to be able to outrun SCVs, so. Yeah, so it could actually do economic damage now.
That could actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be kind of neat to see if we actually get like Raven Harass or something.
I still think it'll be absolutely terrible.
I agree with you. I was just trying to come to its defense as much as possible.
I remember in the beta, man. Oh my God!
Just seeing clumps of Zerg units just disappear to.
And it was funny because the actual unit that it hit would usually survive, and the splash damage actually did more. There was a bug where the splash damage did like 150% of the initial in AE damage to all the units around it. It was hilarious.
Well, we have a couple of interesting developments here. Mr.
Double gas opener. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's what you were talking about. So we're going to see Super Quick Banshee here, or, I mean, I guess he could very well transition into Double Factory Blue Flame Hellion or something like that, but more than likely, Quick Banshee. Actually, TSL Alive
already has
went
a
after,
CC.
Yeah, he went after 1-Rex Gasless FE into Double Gas, and is putting up a second barracks before he saves up for a factory. So an interesting play out of him as well. Don't forget, guys, this is semifinals here out of the qualifiers. Winner of this best of 3 gets that spot in our championship bracket at IPL AC.
Very true. So there's quite a bit on the line here. Polt is going to go ahead and open. It looks like, you know, just based on the positioning of those 2 buildings, I don't see him swapping the factory onto the reactor. I think he's just going to continue to build Marines.
I think we're going to see Cloak Banshee and a big, like, timing push or something like that.
He's all about those.
Could be the Tank Marine... could be a Tank Marine Banshee push. Could be a Tank Marine Heavy Medevac push or something like that for units into the high ground. But
Tank Marine Viking.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's going to probably try and spot... Are we getting double reactors here, or... No.
Oh, let's see, one of them is a tech lab, one of them's a reactor, and then we have a factory coming up as well.
Okay, so he's looks to be priming himself for Marine Tank.
Yeah.
Which is something interesting about the Koreans. You know, in Foreigner and Western StarCraft, we see TVT almost exclusively played with that new mech style with Blue Flame Hellion tank. There's a few players, a sprinkle of players that go bio.
I talked to Doe on a pretty regular basis, and he said that in all the matches he's watching of the high-level players, there are a ton of people that are going for fastest possible reactored Viking, and then just doing a 2 Viking timing attack, and then they just control the air and the ground by landing Vikings back and forth, giving vision, and just attack with like 1 or 2 tanks, and just outright crush someone with an all-in. They said that that is extremely popular right now.
And Hellions?
So, no, actually, you would go with a reactor.
What's like your meat and potatoes?
You would go like 4 or 5 Marines, you have like 2 tanks and 2 Vikings, and you make a big push with a few SCVs. And he says that it's just destroying people at the moment. And look at this. Don't want to say I called it, but
there it is,
okay.
buddy.
This is exactly what I was talking. I've not seen this in action yet. This is literally my first time watching this. So Doa, you have tipped me off to this. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're going to see a handful of Marines. We're going to see about 2 tanks, and we're going to see 2 Vikings and a big push.
A little bit of insider info from Korea helping out the casters right now, and this is my first time seeing this as well. I have seen the quick 2 Viking timing push, but it's with mech. It's with Blue Flame Hellions and a few tanks, not Marines. And, you know, this is going to be interesting here. We do have a tank coming out. Oh, but Stim is going to be finished by the time Polt gets over there. And
it's got 30 seconds.
And look at his Bioforce. I feel like Alive is just going to be able to absolutely face stomp this push. It's not even going to be close. I mean, I feel like this timing push is just going to get absolutely murdered if he can bait enough time.
Oh, it's only 5 seconds left
to get Stim finished, and he is going to finish it. Pulling some SCVs here. Beautiful move from Alive. He's just going to absolutely crush this. Stim finishes. Is he going to Stim? There it is.
There's the Stim. Okay, 1 tank's about to go down. Oh, but so much splash damage was down. There's no more Bioforces. He didn't spread his forces. He didn't spread his forces, and Polt is suddenly at a pretty good advantage. Because
keep in mind though, 1 base to 2, and we have 4 Marines in a tank.
True. It's how much damage? Oh wow, actually that Hellion did quite a bit of damage right there. Looks like Polt's going to put up a bunker for himself. He's going to start camping structures as well. Maybe able to take out a couple of supply depots. He is up in supply. Let's see if he's gearing up for round 2. Nothing coming out of the starport.
He can't. I don't think he can sustain this push enough. I feel like Alive is well.
He's gonna counter drop.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I don't think so either. I think you should have built up enough of a force, because he could have brought the barracks back a little bit and sat back on these forces and just sieged up a couple of tanks.
Although that drop will be absolutely devastating. He has Stim. He has the medevac.
We'll see how this is gonna work out. Like okay. For the record, obviously we don't watch these games, so I don't know what's going on right now. And
I think Polt might be making a mistake with this Banshee right here. Alive, when you're in a situation like this, air control is everything. Right now, Polt has the 2 Vikings. He has supreme air control right now. Alive is trying to get air control back. He has 1 Viking out, and he's building another Viking right now. If he can get 3 Vikings, and here we have the drop from Alive going into the main, there isn't really an answer for this from Polt. This could be disastrous.
There's a tank that just popped out and a few Marines. Looks like the Banshee's being re-rallied back as well. A lot of workers have gone down. Let's actually take a look at the workers killed. Polt has killed 13 workers. TSL Alive has killed 8 workers. So a pretty good amount of the economic damage that was dealt by Polt was just gotten back there. And as you pointed out before, TSL Alive, he has
trying to take back air control.
But he has 2 bases. He's dropping down double mules. He's producing.
He loses air control. Polt loses air control, which is absolutely huge. He has no sight of the high ground. Alive, moving his tanks forward, feeling confident now.
Oh no, Polt just lost 5 Marines for free, and the rest of those are pretty critically injured as well.
Alive is on 2 base, by the way, and he's redropping the main as we speak.
Polt just restarted his base. Oh god, he's actually dropping
right
next to the siege tank. I like it.
If he kills that tank, that would be hilarious.
I don't think Polt's paying attention to it at the moment. Okay, there it goes. It's getting repaired, and he'll start attacking with the SCV.
He's losing critical mining time, though. He's only on 1 base.
I agree, and he's already down pretty significantly in supply. He doesn't have air control, as you mentioned before. Alive is already reproducing his Vikings at a pretty good clip. Wow, that was actually a superb hold from Alive. When things seemed really bleak for him, let's be honest.
Yeah, they did.
For a couple of seconds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Once that bunker went up and those tanks were camping... Once you have tanks camping... Well, the important thing is that Polt never got close enough to the point where he could camp units in transition between the ramp and the natural.
Right.
He didn't get... He had 2 more inches, and I think Polt would have been in a position to win that game or come... pretty close.
At least could have started to try and inflict economic damage or camping production structures or something along those lines. Yeah.
Loving the build from Alive, though.
Yep.
Loving it. It's just so solid. Getting that early bio squad out with the quick stim allows you to hold any kind of an all-in like that. And then the most beautiful thing that we saw this game was preemptively pulling those SCVs.
Yes.
If he hadn't pulled those, I think he would have been in a lot of trouble there. He would
have been killed.
He would have been killed outright, and you know that was just a really, really impressive play right there. And now that he has Stim, he might be able to get into position at the natural here. Polt, moving a
way
lot
out
of his
position.
forces.
Tanks are nowhere in position to help, but that is just too many forces. And Alive smartly is going to pull away for a little while. But his economy looks great. He's going to a third base at the moment. He's up by 19 workers, and he's been dropping down double mules this whole time because that orbital just got finished now for Polt. So he's pretty far behind in that regard. He does have the larger standing army, yes, but Alive is going to be able to catch up a lot quicker.
Yeah, a lot of the games that we do see Polt lose are very similar to this.
Yeah.
It's some type of a one base pseudo all-in that gets held off, and then Polt will try and macro out of it.
Yep.
And I feel like other players with superior macro and superior mechanics who are... See, there's something to be said for, you know, the style of game that you play all the time.
Sure.
You practice how you play, and if you practice a one-base style where, you know, you don't find yourself in those macro games a lot of the time, you're obviously not going to be as good in situations like that.
Certainly.
And Alive going to a quick third here, skyrocketing in supply. He's just playing a very aggressive macro style. I think is getting farther and farther ahead here. And either way, we're going to see a pretty intense macro TVT here.
As Sickness would say, indeed.
Indeed.
So here we go.
Were you watching that cast?
I was. Command Center is now up for TSL Alive. He's going to float that over in a second. Looks like he's going to poke out. And at least, I don't think he's going to try and do real damage with this push. I think he's going to sit underneath and try and camp production. Maybe force Polt out of position and just secure his third with it.
You know what's funny, though? That's like one of his first times casting like a major event. I think he did great, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
And did you ever have that phase where you first started casting and there were like words that you used all the time and you're like,
yeah.
you know, I really got to stop doing
No, we still go in phases of that.
I still do as well.
Everyone does. It's a natural habit. But look at this. Alive actually
Beautiful.
coordinating a double
Beautiful.
drop along with this push.
Gonna get the factory.
Yeah, and then he picks right back up, and I only think he lost 2 Marines. So, there's a third one.
Very
unfortunately.
solid.
But still, beautiful play. And Alive is still going to be able to not camp production, but he's pulling Polt way.
Oh, is he going to drop on these tanks? The Marines are out of position. He's just going to go for it here.
God.
This is a little bit risky on his part. Oh my God, he's actually going to kill quite a few tanks.
One tank goes down to...
I think that was worth it.
No, it was. Yeah, I mean, and he dealt damage to the other one, so he's going to pull SCVs off the line to repair, do more economic damage, and now those units are pretty far out of position. Looks like Alive is going to have to get out of there in a second, though, because Polt's gearing up for a big counterattack. He'll move.
Yeah. Oh, big mistake.
Didn't time it well, and lost all of his siege tank cover. And now the siege tanks from Alive are actually dealing pretty good splash damage. So, a lot of... Oh my God, and there's 3 more tanks remaining. Polt just lost everything. Polt's down half the supply. That was a very poorly executed
And look
attack.
at Polt's money.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was in a situation where all of his production was being camped. He lost all those factories. He's just now getting his production back online.
Oh God.
And it could be too little too late.
Again, you hate to call things early, but I think we're getting to that stage. I thought Alive was going to do well with the drops.
Oh no,
I
just meant getting the production could be too little too late.
No, I agree. But I'm just saying that...
I also agree with your statement.
Yes.
Previous.
No, because Alive, it looked like he was going to receive a counterattack, and Polt was going to take that out. He wasn't going to equalize. He took more damage than he was going to give out, but that was just not well executed.
Alive just continues to work into that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And it makes things so difficult. I'd love to see a couple Vikings out of Polt here to retake air control. I think that would just work wonders for him right now because lack of air control is absolutely killing him right now. He's having to set up tanks behind his production, and these tanks that are getting ferried into the main are going to be in range of all the production. They're not going to be in range of the tanks, and that's going to be disastrous for Polt.
Yep, it really is because
it's disastrous.
Vikings out and. Well, I guess he may be able to get those out because the siege tank's behind and the Marines aren't going to be able to move up, but that's the last thing he's going to be able to produce. Nice little run in though. Stimmin. Polt came up and, excuse me, did pick off 1 unit there. The Vikings do come up, but the Marines are dropping on top of the siege tanks. This starport is lifted off. Both these tanks are going to die, and then that starport's going to go with it this minute.
There are those 2 Vikings I was alluding to, but there are no units on the ground to take advantage of the air support. Or superiority, rather.
Right.
Vikings can't really support your ground. But Polt right now just sitting on this group of Marines that he has. And, you know, recently in the GSL, we saw Polt play some TVTs against Top. And you know, Polt was getting great spreads on his Marines. He was coming up huge in supply in a lot of the big battles. Alive, I feel, doing a much better job controlling his tanks and his bio. He's sieging up first in a lot of these engagements. He's also using very good position here, and now he's bringing 4 more tanks into the main. Going to be able to take out both of those factories, and he's just absolutely crippling Polt's ability to produce units.
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to take a look at, you know, you were mentioning that OGS Top was playing Polt in GSL recently, and Top is a macro master. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
He is.
TSL Live, though, he's not as good at macro as Top is. He's not
nice combination,
but he has better control. He's another all-around player. Somewhat that we saw out of Ryung. Obviously quite a bit more aggressive.
The
but
Polt special.
Oh, it's always stopped.
Oh my God!
Arms up in the air. That's it. GG. What? Oh my God! You are so good. TSL Live.